Hey guys, welcome back to Builds with Anna. Today we are continuing off our starter home that we are building, and today will be the last installment. We are going to cover landscaping. We last left off where we had fully decorated the build. Just to give you a recap of kind of how it all looks. So you've got your entryway, your main living area, Shayla's bedroom, and a bathroom. And then we head out to the outdoors where we've got a simple little patio and some gardening planter boxes. And yeah, so now we're going to move into landscaping. The first thing I want to do is I actually want to place that brick tile. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to delete this terrain paint. So I'm using the eraser feature and erasing that terrain paint because I actually think it did look better, guys, with the brick. So we are going to go change it. I want to change the direction of the brick, so we are going to hit the greater than less than key to rotate that. And we're just going to apply the brick to that patio. I think I've applied a bit too much there. Sorry guys, I do not have my bb.move objects on. I'm just going to adjust that. Alrighty, let's get into landscaping. So I'm just going to keep it very basic today and just give you a little tips and tricks. So let's start by identifying that naturally how we've built the house, there are areas in the build that naturally call for landscaping. So for example, you have this section that is blank, and this type of section is quite good to put a hedge. Just make sure it doesn't clip. You can, and I've alt placed that to ensure that it's not clipping into the build. Now, next thing I want to do is add another hedge here. But it's not quite fitting, so I may have to size it down by pressing Control left bracket key and alt placing that there. Now, it does look a bit strange because this is now the wrong size. So we're then going to lower the one on this side too. And I'm going to insert it inside each other so that it fits better. And then all I have to do is get another hedge and then add it inside of that hedge so that it covers that whole section, as you can see. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is create custom garden beds. Now I'm using the Smooth Keeper fence. This is a Basegame fence that I probably use in every single build to do exactly what I'm about to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the fence, and it's going to act like a little garden bed. It's going to look like it's intentional for a garden bed. And the reason that these are so helpful for new builders is that when you apply terrain paint, which we are going to do, which is dirt, which one of my biggest recommendations is to place dirt underneath your builds, underneath all of the building or your plants. So it looks like the house is intentionally placed there. Because if not, it just looks like a random building that's been plonked on a bit of grass. So the dirt adds a bit of realism, it adds a bit of texture. And the good thing about having a garden bed is it's almost like when you're in school and you're colouring inside the lines. So it allows you to place the terrain paint inside that fence so it looks neater and it looks more intentional. And I'm just also going to apply some terrain paint dirt underneath these hedging, and you can again adjust the size of your brush. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm also going to put a little bit under the trash can, and I would normally put it under here, but this is paved, I don't need to. but also under these planters, I'm going to do that as well. And I'm going to use the terrain paint in this corner because I feel like this corner, and the reason I put these planters in the exact position I put them in is because I knew I was going to put a tree. Where is that tree? So the European, is it the European tree? This tree I use in pretty much every build I do. I just think that it's so good. It also has a direction to it so that you can place the tree in a more intentional way. Another tip with choosing trees and flowers and whatnot is to look around the world that you are building in. As you can see, this type of tree is used in the world around us, including what we are going to move into, which is these flowers. So these are all base game flowers, as this is a base game world. So all these flowers are available in the build by catalog as well. So they are there for your disposable. Things that I love to put around trees, I love to put rocks. I love to put a good rock. Or I like to use the low-lying pale yellow flowers. These flowers are your best friend. I just think they look so good in and around other plants and trees. So we're going to use those there today. Alrighty, so we need to put a little bit more terrain paint under this tree. Alrighty, now let's move into this flower bed. So flowers. Now flowers and how I do garden beds, I like to take a flower and size it up or down. And that's where you're going to get a lot of that variability with the item that you're using. And that goes with everything. That goes with whether it is a flower, any type of object in the game when you are decorating. We did not size those up or down, and I think that they actually are a really good size. And I'm actually going to leave it like that. I think that's really pretty. Our mailbox, let's put it on this side of the build. I'm going to alt place it. I don't know why. I've been putting mailboxes on a diagonal quite a bit recently, and I kind of really like how it is looking, so I'm going to keep that like that. Let's go over to the stone and pavement section of the terrain paint. So I really love this because it allows you to place like a pavement or a path or some form of a tile, and it's cheaper. This is free compared to tiled stone and brick or what have you, or pavement. So therefore, in starter homes, this is going to be a cheaper option. And my advice is, if you're doing a path, unless you want it to kind of be a bit sporadic and a bit unintentional, you could use the rounded paintbrush, but I really love the square. If you know that you're doing a little bit more of an intentional path, the square is a better option for me. And I start by lining up the size of the square with my staircase so that I know the beginning is going to start well. So I think for this build, we can choose maybe this cobbled together. I use this one all the time. And what I want to do is, we could leave it like here, but something that I really enjoy doing is connecting that path. So you could do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the circle brush and I'm going to just kind of click and judge. And when you do paths, it's really very much like this. You can just click and judge kind of about where you want to go with the path. Yep. And kind of see like whereabouts do you want to place that path, and the thickness of the path, the direction of the path, all of these things matter in relation to the build. Now bear in mind, when you're crossing over other terrain paint, it will overlap and cover the other existing terrain paint. So bear that in mind. If you're not trying to get rid of the terrain paint there, make sure that you avoid it. So I'm just gonna slowly, ever so slightly, connect that terrain paint. There we go. Alrighty, I think that looks good. Okay, and now we go back to those low-lying flowers. The pale, I always forget the name of them. Low-laying pale flowers. These are really good for what I call lining the pavement. So you see how this is going to line, and I think it adds a little bit of extra detail that's quite nice. I also really like the palm plant for this purpose too. So we could add the palm plant in here as well, just for a little bit more detail. I don't really mind that that's clipping into the hair. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I was like, I don't really mind, but I do. So I'm going to place that there. I think that looks really nice. Let's see what else we've got. Where else could we place it? Okay. I'm going to use the plants to then make a kind of garden bed. You can do this too. So you don't have to use fencing. You could use plants like I have here. And then you could place other plants inside the plant. So like I am with these hydrangeas. And remember, you can place and change the color. So we could use, I think the white looks really good here. And you don't have to fill the area with plants. It is sometimes really nice to leave a bit of a gap. And sometimes what I like to do is purposely leave garden beds empty. And the reason I like to do this is because if you have a sim that's into gardening, it makes more sense and more of a realistic approach for me if my sims are placing flowers and plants in a garden bed. It looks more realistic to me, and I actually really enjoy that kind of aspect in my gameplay. So that's also a little bit of train of thought as well, a food for thought. Alrighty, I am just, you know, playing around with this pathway. It's looking a bit sketchy, but that's okay. I think we should bring it up to the hedge line. And then, yeah, I do this a lot where I jump between pathing the paving and the dirt, and just really jump in between there. And I'm just looking at what I need. I'm thinking a rock would go really nice there. I use rocks all the time. Again, this is something that I definitely size up and down to make it a little bit more intentional. So I'm going to size this down and just put it by the mailbox. It just makes it look a little bit nicer. And then just like a little bit of sand there. Alrighty, so that is the front of our house. I think this looks really nice. I'm really happy with it. I think the landscaping was really well. And yeah, I do like our little custom garden bed here with the flowers and our pathway. I think that the planter boxes look really nice in relation to the tree. And yeah, I think that this brick paving for our patio area looks way better. I think it really works with the red theme. And yeah, I think that's definitely the right choice to make. Alrighty, I've just noticed that that was not even on both sides. I felt that that would look better even. And I'm just going around the build and I'm just seeing if there's absolutely anything else that I think we need to add. And honest to God, I think we're right. I think this is our final house, guys. We did it. We have made it here. So this is it. This is the finished product. And thank you all for joining me on this journey. I have absolutely adored building this with you and just giving these tips. I feel that when I started building, there wasn't a lot of this around, a more in-depth kind of view on teaching how to build and all the aspects that come into building. And I think that I've achieved this here and I'm really happy with it. And I'm really thankful that you guys have come along for the journey. And so let us know down in the comment section below what you think of the final build. Are you happy with it? And yeah, I will be posting this onto the gallery. So under Antoinette44 is my gallery ID. This house will be posted for download if you so wish. You could download it and enter your own Sims into this house. I think that'd be really cool. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.